As always, it is so great to have you here, and I hope you're all staying safe and healthy out there. Anyways, as you know, Spain is famously known for paella, the classic rice dish from the region of Valencia, which happens to be where I'm from. However, in Spain we have so many other great rice dishes, like the one that we're making today, which is truly underrated, and a recipe that hails from the beautiful province of Barcelona. We're talking a creamy Spanish codfish rice. This is known as Arroz Meloso con Bacalao. And let me tell you, this dish has layer upon layer of so many amazing flavors. It's easy to make, where there's no tricky techniques. And the best part, it's all done in about 40 minutes. Folks, serve this dish next to a crunchy baguette and a bottle of Spanish wine. More specifically from the region of Priorat, gonna have yourself a fabulous meal. Alright, let's just jump right into this. I'm gonna add in 1 liter of vegetable broth into a saucepan, which is about 4 1/4 cups. You can also use chicken broth here, or even fish broth if you like. Either way, link on how to make my homemade veggie broth in the description box below. And we'll heat it with a medium heat. While the broth is heating, let's get the rest of our ingredients ready. I'm going to finely chop 1 small onion, finely chop 1 green bell pepper, cut 1 red bell pepper into thin strips, and remove the skins from 4 cloves of garlic. And we'll also finely grate 3 tomatoes to end up with 3/4 cup of tomato sauce, which is 180 grams. You can substitute this for 1/2 cup of canned tomato sauce, which is very similar to passata, which is about 120 grams. For the next step, I'm going to heat a paella pan with a medium heat. The size of the pan I'm using is 12 inches in diameter, which is 30 centimeters. You can also use a regular fry pan here if you like. And add in 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, which is 60 milliliters. Important to use the good stuff here is what truly flavors all the ingredients. Make sure you get the Spanish one I'm using in the description box below. After a couple minutes, we'll add in the strips of red bell pepper and the cloves of garlic. We'll mix the ingredients around continuously and go for a few minutes. After 3 to 4 minutes, and the strips of red bell pepper and the cloves of garlic are lightly sauteed, we'll remove them from the pan and set them aside. Now, using the same pan with the same heat, we'll add in the chopped onion and the chopped green bell pepper. And we'll mix the ingredients around, that way they're all coated in the olive oil. And once again, make sure to mix this around continuously, that way everything evenly sautés. After about 3 to 4 minutes and the onion slightly translucent, I'm going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is 1.25 grams. And we'll give it a quick mix. And like I always tell you, when you're working with paprika in a hot pan, you want to mix it in there quickly, otherwise it can easily get a bitter flavor. Then we'll add in the grated tomato, and we'll give it a mix until it's well mixed together, and then simmer it for a few minutes. While the grated tomato is simmering, let's move back to the cloves of garlic that we lightly sauteed. I'm going to add them into a mortar, along with 1/4 teaspoon of saffron threads, which is 0.17 grams. Make sure you get the Spanish golden saffron I'm using in the description box below. 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley, which is 8 grams, and a dash of sea salt. And using a pestle, we'll pound down on the ingredients until we end up with a paste-like texture. You can also use a food processor here, or even a hand blender. Okay, let's move back to the pan. After simmering the grated tomato for about 5 minutes, and you can see it's slightly thickened, it's time to add in the rice. I'm going to measure out 1 cup of rice, which is 190 grams, and add it into the pan. I'm using Spanish round rice, which is the one that's typically used to make paella, very similar to arborio rice. Of course, you can use other types of rice, though you might want to use less broth, as this type of rice absorbs more liquid than others. We'll also add in the garlic mixture in the mortar, and season everything with sea salt and just a kiss of freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it a gentle mix until everything's well mixed together. Then we'll grab the simmering vegetable broth and slowly add it into the pan. And we'll give it a mix, that way everything's evenly distributed. You want to make sure to mix this every 3 minutes or so, as that's going to help release the starch from the rice, which at the end is what gives this dish that slightly creamy texture. While the rice is cooking, let's start getting our fish ready. I'm going to add in 1 pound of cod fillets over some paper towels, which is 900 grams, and pat the fish completely dry. As always, I'm using cod about frozen and thawed out, but you can also use the fresh stuff here, as well as any other type of firm white fish. Then we'll season the cod with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper, and you just have to do this on one side. And then cut each fillet into small bite-sized pieces. Okay, let's move back to the rice. After simmering it for 13 minutes, which in my case is 5 minutes shy of the rice being cooked through, I'm going to add in the pieces of fish. And we'll mix them with the rice, that way they're evenly distributed. And we'll also add in half a cup of frozen peas, which is 80 grams. You want to make sure to evenly spread them around. And we're going to simmer this for another 5 minutes until the rice and the fish are cooked through. Important to check the package instructions in the rice you're using, as you want to add the fish and peas in there when there's 5 minutes left of the rice being cooked. Once the rice and the fish are perfectly cooked, this is ready to go. I'm going to remove the pan from the heat. And we'll serve this directly out of the pan, garnish with our strips of red bell pepper that we sauteed earlier. And check it out, folks, our creamy Spanish codfish rice is done. Easy to make, restaurant quality presentation, and all done in around 40 minutes. Let's give this a try and see how it turned out. Once again, folks, Arroz Meloso con Bacalao, a classic recipe from the beautiful province of Barcelona. Cannot wait to try this. Here we go. Yeah, right there. It's truly what honest home cooking is all about. The rice is beautifully cooked, absorbed all the flavors in the pan. Then you have the vegetables, spices, and herbs that lift of goodness, and the fish taking this to the next level. Give this a try at home. Such a great dish, very underrated. Once again, next to a crunchy baguette and a bottle of Spanish wine from the beautiful region of BROTH, you can have yourself a fabulous meal. Really quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Elaine Engros, Kelly Lorang, Ronald Kemp, and Stephen Riggs. And guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. Enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon. That way you can get notified every time I release new content and to become a part of the Spain on a Fork family. Till the next time, hasta luego.